Hi, Tuli Mama. Thanks for joining my live. How are you feeling now? How was your day? Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. Hi, Kosis Hair Care. Thanks for joining my live. Hi, Julie. Thanks for joining my live. Please, if you are joining, please like this video. It has been raining here. We claim to be in summer, but this is not summer. It has been cold. It has been raining. I went out today. I came in not too long. Hi Oyenike, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. So we can start now. Please like the live. Hi Savik, thanks for joining my live. You are highly, highly, highly welcome. Okay, from the thumbnail you have been seeing, from the thumbnail you saw, I want to talk about things you should know if you want to go study in Canada. I hope you all had a nice day. I believe you all had a nice day. Today has been cold, though very early this morning it was very sunny. As early as 3 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., the sun was but immediately it was now like 1, 2 p.m. It started raining. So it has been a rainy day. Okay, we are now like 5 here, so we can now start. You guys know that I talk mainly on Canada, UK. Though I do other stuffs like lifestyle cooking, but I put a hold on that for now. I shall resume soon, but for now, this is what I'm giving to my friends out there. So, things you should know if you want to study in Canada. Most persons have been showing interest in going to study in Canada, and somebody has even asked me, what how can you rate schooling in Canada and schooling in the UK? Actually, I did my research. I don't know if you people have any idea. What do you think about schooling in the UK, and what do you think about schooling in Canada? Of course, I know, yes, most of us have not done the two. Yeah. Hi Maureen, thanks for joining. But it has been a big question. Should I say a tricky question that I don't know if I should study in Canada or in UK, which has the best universities, which is more expensive, like that. But I want to throw it to you guys out there. If you want to go and further your studies or you want to study, where will you like to study? Canada or UK? And probably you can just give me your reasons. Let me be hearing your reasons. If you want to study, for example, maybe you want to do masters or you want to do your undergraduate, which would you prefer? Study in the UK or study in Canada? I'm waiting for your responses. I prefer Canada. Canada because it is more lively and better pay. Okay. Okay. So let me see. Majority carries the vote. Actually, I am in UK via study visa. I like Canada more than UK. Canada, I will always prefer Canada. Okay, let me say 100% of people um are choosing, because I can't see anybody choosing UK there. Good. So let me say 99.999% of you people are saying you will prefer Canada. Yes, me too, I will prefer Canada. But should I say fortunately, The time we came to the UK, my husband was already studying. Not just studying, he had paid his school fees, or school fee rather. He paid everything. You know how much, in millions. So we are like, instead of going to Canada, let us just finish here. But left for me, I would have preferred Canada. You know why? The tuition fee of most Canadian universities, they are cheaper or lesser than that of the UK. Two, we have some of the best universities in Canada. When you talk about University of Toronto, I'm not saying UK doesn't have good schools. They do. Then in terms of you becoming a permanent resident quickly as a student, Canada is number one. In fact, you can be schooling and you apply for your permanent residency. I'm just trying to tell you things you should know. It is easier to get to the exactly. It is easier to get US visa from Canada. That's true. So you can bring your dependents as a student. Yes, if you're a student, either a man or a woman, you can bring your dependents. Even if you've got kids, you can bring them over. If your kids have reached working age, even though you are schooling, they can be working. Then after you've spent like 19 months as a student in Canada, you can start getting child benefits. This is still student o, but let me say I'm a student in the UK. The benefits we have is not up to half of what you get to what you start to get if you're a Canadian student. As a UK dependent, as a dependent here in the UK, express entry is good, yeah, but some people said it's expensive because of the proof of fund. Express entry is good because of the proof of fund, and sometimes it takes time. So most times when you go through study route and you get your admission, I think it's faster. Thanks Julie. So I'm in the UK, and based on research about Canada, let me just give my own differences. The benefit I have as a student here is that, number one, my children don't pay school fees. I heard they will pay maybe when they've gotten to a higher institution. They don't pay school fees. And they don't pay school fees, they eat free, everything is free. Second, they don't pay for tickets, they don't pay for transport. Network is bad. Okay, they don't pay transport too. They don't pay transport, as that's the benefit I have as student too. Three, I don't pay tax. I don't pay council tax. The time I paid, I told them, I said I am a student. My husband is a student. They said I will pay. Then I wrote to them that I can't pay because my husband is a student. So they refunded all my money. So I don't pay tax as a student or as the wife of a student or dependent. So I'm just trying to tell you the benefits. The other benefits I have is that I think those are the major ones. So you getting a permanent resident as a student, it is not easy to come by in the UK. It's not easy to come by. Recently, I heard they've even shifted it to 8 years. Meanwhile, if you go to Canada as a student, under 2 years, you can get your permanent residency. As a student, you can only work 20 hours here in the UK. Only 20 hours. Tell me what 20 hours will do. But if you are a student in Canada, you can work 40 hours or more, depending on how far your strength can carry you. So the benefits of being a student in Canada over being a student in the UK cannot be overemphasized. This is just, I know if I go deeper, you will still see the benefit of being a Canadian student over UK student, but let's leave it at this. It could be network. More, it could be network. So the benefit is just too good. That is why I usually talk more to the Canada side, because most people love good things, and that is what is, reigning now. So now, let's now go to the business of today. Things you should know about, studying in Canada. Eh, okay. Another thing is that it is easier to get UK study visa. I didn't mention that one. It is easier to get UK study visa than getting Canada study visa. If you want to get UK study visa now within 1 month, you can get it. But Canada is a country that is very, very thorough in their they are very thorough in their assessment. They don't just give you visa because they want to give you visa. They will find out, they will do some findings. So I think that's also the benefit of um you that is it's easier to get visa as a student for for UK than Canada. But the still the benefit of Canada is still better than that of UK. One reason you should know, or things you should know about studying in Canada, is that Canada is multicultural. Yes, Canada belongs to everybody. So meaning the level of racism in Canada is low, very low, because Canada keeps accepting people from different parts of the world, and they are still accepting. So in Canada, you will find Philippines, you will find Indians, you will find Nigerians, like that, like that. So that's because it's multicultural. It makes people to be, you can be comfortable. Hi, Debbie's Kitchen. Thanks for joining my life. Thanks for joining my life. Is the racism in UK bad? It's bad depending on the sector you find yourself. I've been dealt by racists before here. I cried home. So it was later I started voicing out. If you just do what I don't like, I'll give it to you. And racism can come in different forms here. Sometimes they could be doing that racism, you won't even know it's racism. You understand? If someone tells you, um why are you coming to my country, why can't you stay in your country, something like that. Or when somebody tells you, if you are too rich, why can't you stay in your country, racism can come. You have to know, you should be able to just study. If you have stayed here, you will know how to decipher it. You will know. So but in Canada, is I'm not saying there's no racism in Canada, but it is lesser. It is lesser than that of the UK, especially some set of people over here. They'll be like, this one just came now, want to come and be enjoying our benefits. So Canada is more multicultural. Have you heard that from someone, Julie? There'll always be racism. You know why? Because one, you are coming to another land. Who was right? Guess the person was right. Can't say I'm lost. I don't know. So Canada is diverse, it's multicultural, so that makes it more comfy for a lot of persons to stay. So if you go there to go and study, the issue of racism won't be a problem to you. Please like the live. We are 9 people watching, and I only just have 6 likes. Level of exposure of the country determines that. So you are very correct. One thing I love Canada for, before you start hearing some nothing news about Canada, it takes a long time. Is it the issue of killing, like that of the US, the gun, that they can just bring out gun and shoot? You hardly hear of that. I'm not saying there's no crime in Canada, but it is minimal, very minimal. Even UK, the crime rate is very low. In UK too, the crime rate is very, very low. Scotland, I live in Aberdeen, is the second most peaceful city in the UK. This Aberdeen, you can drop your phone here, you will come back and meet it. You hardly hear of any crime here. You can walk around 1 a.m., 2 a.m., nothing happens. You can go and buy something. So the crime rate here is very low too, because you are not permitted to hold guns, to keep guns in the house. So that is Canada too. Canada too is very safe. So we are talking about the multicultural aspect of Canada. Then second is that we have very low tuition fees in Canada, as low as 4,000. If you have 4,000 Canadian dollars, and you know pounds is bigger than Canadian dollars, so that 4,000 Canadian dollars could be like 3,000 plus pounds, which is very affordable. If you convert that to naira, it's almost like maybe 4 million or so, which is not bad to keep you in a school, which will later lead you into permanent residency. We all know that study visa is a temporary visa. We all know that. But when you get there, it can become permanent visa. I am looking forward to the day Nigeria will be this good. Honestly, honestly, I will be so happy that at least I can boast of so many things. Though Nigeria is still good in its own ways, oh, it has its own good side. That money is much, oh. So I think it's not much. It's not much compared to what you stand to gain. You know what it is to study. It's not much. Less like the life is packed with information. Thank you so much, Julie. It's not much because most people, let's say the truth, out of every 20 persons that go to study, about 17 of them don't want to come back. Am I true or false? It is just very few that want to study and will come back to their home country. But as it stands now, hi, Osinachi, thanks for joining my life. Okay, more. Okay, I understand. So very few persons will just go study abroad, even UK, and they will tell you when I'm done, I will go back to my home. Very few out of 10, maybe two people will say they want to go back. So in most cases, their aim is to become a citizen or a permanent resident of that country. So if you use 4,000 Canadian dollars to go study, that will lead you into permanent residency, in which under 3 years you become a citizen. It's not bad. Some people buy citizenship. Some countries, they sell citizenship. They sell citizenship. So to me, it's not bad. When there is money, all those things are not expensive. Can you compare it with my husband's school? The tuition fee is about £15,000. £15,000. You know how much? About 11 or 12 million. So it's way too much. So if you divide that money like into three, you can use it to study in Canada. You can see it. Another thing about you need to know about studying in Canada is that it gives you experience. It gives you Canadian experience, because by the time you are incorporated in the system, when you now graduate, it will not be difficult for you. You will be better off than somebody that just immigrated as a permanent resident. UK is expensive, oh. UK is expensive. Schooling here is expensive. So, but when you have Canadian experience, when their employers are trying to employ people, eh, they will first take the students first before looking outside of Canada. So when you school in Canada, you automatically gain experience. You'll be used to their system. You already know the roads. You already know how it's being done. So when you now go to the favor market, let me put it that way, it will not be a strange thing again to mix up with people. You understand? In most cases, before you even finish school, you already get job. Connect Love TV, thanks for joining my life. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you. Connect Love TV is an African man that appreciates Africa beauty, talk about Ghana, Kenya. His channel is very, very loaded. You can check him out later. So first is the multicultural, nature of the place of Canada. The second, exactly, and schooling in Canada means you will probably be recognized worldwide. Yes, now when you school in Canada, when you tell somebody I graduated from a school in Canada like Toronto, McGill University, University of Saskatchewan. I even saw University of Saskatchewan when I went there. Very old building. When I went, we drove around the school. I said, oh, this is the University of Saskatchewan. Very old building, but it's very affordable. Very, very affordable. Another reason you should study in Canada is that after graduation you'll be eligible for the postgraduate work permit program. One already. Thank you, Connect Log. So when you finish, I won't say automatically, but work permit follows immediately because they are not training you to drop you in the labor market to start searching for job. You have greater chances, like 80 something percent of getting jobs as soon as you graduate from any Canadian university. Do you understand? And one thing about Canadian universities, they are unique in their own ways. They are this one is unique. I did a video on Canadian. All of them have their own features. So you won't say this one is far far better than this. If you go to this school, there will be a benefit, like that, like that. So you stand a chance of having work permit. This work permit people are trying to get from outside of Canada through job bank. Automatically you get it. Again, when you study in Canada, you also increase your level of education. One, you will have upgraded. Two, you will still become permanent resident. Three, you become citizens. So that is why people that just immigrate as permanent residents, just very few of them go to school. They will say, what's the essence of schooling when I'm already a permanent resident? But if you go as a student, you gain the aspect of you. Maybe you had, or that you were having BSc before. You now have more international, certificate of experience. Then you can even forge ahead. So it's not just about you becoming a permanent resident. There was a time I wrote to Canada that I want to come and do masters. So they just told me, what did you study? I said, they replied my mail. I said I studied chemical engineering. They said, okay, do I have my license? And they would prefer I do my license first. You see, the fact that I can easily access them, that's what I like. If I need any information from them, I'll just write to them. Less than 24 hours. So eventually they told me to do my license. I started. And to God be glory, I'm done with the whole process. I'm just waiting to hear from them. So they can guide you. They can guide you. So that's Canada for you. They are very welcoming. Very welcoming. Even when I went there, they are always willing to assist. They don't snub you. Like I felt at home. And one thing is that they will know that you are a newcomer. They will treat you like queen. They will treat you. Canada is a sweet place. So another thing you should know about studying in Canada is that hold on, I have them here. You should also know the university system. If the system is rigid, try to know that beforehand. And also know if you are trying to now go, you need to know their requirements. I have that video already, but let me just say something about it. Canada is a sweet place, honestly. Is Savic leaving us? 4,000 Canadian dollars is more money in Kenyan shilling. I guess I'm going to Canada soon. You see, it's not that big for what you stand to gain in the future. What is 4,000? I think it's University of Saskatchewan. Yes, their tuition fee is 4,000. Yes, I'm very sure. So it's not that big. Oh. If you can save for it, then you go for it. And again, in your proof of fund, you don't need to have all. Like there was one guy when I was traveling, they asked the guy how much he was bringing. So he told them the money was bringing, that when he starts working, that when he starts working, he can take care of himself, and they allowed him to go. So another thing you should consider when you are trying, it can't be all roses water on the comes. Yes, so you are falling in love with Canada. It's not like that though. It's not like I fell in love, but I try to weigh things. I've also done research about US. I've also done research about this thing, but I just like the fact that this Canada is more relatable. Have you ever heard of any strange news about Canada? Like, here in Canada and this country they are fighting. In Canada, they said they don't want dependence. It's rare. So I like to go with that kind of positive vibe. Anything that that sounds sweet, I like it. Now UK is coming up with different rules, different restrictions, and it's making it difficult for so many persons, like as from 2024 January now, you can't bring your dependent. So if you are here and your dependent is not here, by next year it is well, except for specific set of people. That was what they said, maybe those doing research or PhD. And I heard that you're becoming a British citizen, or a citizen of UK, it's no longer 5 years, it is now 8 years. Meanwhile Canada is just 3 years. So Julie, you can see why I'm falling in love. Even US is not 3 years, US is 5 years. Yes, US is 5 years and above. So when I weighed everything, the Canada is still making sense to me. It's making sense. But if I see anything that is not too proper, I will still say it. When I said easily, they don't give visa easily. It's true. How do you feel about the legalization of cocaine in Canada? And this thing, I read it today. The thing is that it's like the world is coming to an end. That's what I was. I read it and I felt very sad. But I know when people really come out to talk, because now it's more like people are against it. So I believe the needful will be done. That's what I hope for. You understand? Something made me very happy recently about UK, that children, I think the prime minister said, if you are trying to talk about sex education, the parents should be aware. Unlike, instead of you just going ahead to go and be teaching the child what you are not supposed to, get a consent. That was, I think that update was last week or this year, last week. So it's a good one. So UK too has its own good side too, it has its bad side. So me, I'm just saying generally. But he said that legalization, I think they will do something about it, because many people are, they are they are talking, they are not happy about that. Love it, US is wrong. Why is US wrong? Why did US deny me visa 5 times? Five. 5 times. Why is US wrong? I want to know why US is wrong. Okay, so another thing you should know about studying in Canada is that like I said, you can start getting child benefits when you have stayed like 19 months in Canada. And US denied me 3 times. My own is 5. They are good at denying. Oh God. They are really good at denying. And once they've told you they are not giving you, you better just respect yourself. Okay, they've denied me too. But the good thing is that if I want to still enter that US, I will from Canada enter. That is if I want to. US is cancelled then. No, it's not cancelled though. Oh, if my there's an adage in my language that if you cannot push if you cannot push a thing from the head, push it from the other side. So if you have tried it from this angle, you cannot go. You can, like me now, I will still enter that place, maybe through Canada. So it's still, if I couldn't go from Nigeria, I will go through another means. That is if I even want to go. So another thing you should consider is if the school needs IELTS. It's not all university that requires you to write IELTS. You know, IELTS is one exam that people dread so much. Because you can easily fail it. IELTS, you can easily fail IELTS. Yes, Africans always make plan. There's a lot of benefits. Yes, there's a lot of benefits. So if you want to consider schooling and you don't want to go through the stress of IELTS, also do your research. Canadian universities that don't require IELTS, I also have that video. So if you don't want to go through the stress of writing IELTS, there are schools that you can apply to in Canada that don't require IELTS. Same with UK. Like the school where my husband is, they don't require you to do IELTS. So that's also another thing you should know if you want to study in Canada. Another thing you should think of again is scholarship opportunities. Canada as a country, they are good at that. They easily give scholarships, but it's just knowing the right information, getting the information from the right source. So it's not even compulsory you spend money for tuition fee. You can go for some scholarship programs. It could be 1 year. Under 1 year, you can fix yourself up. Don't just say you came to school for 1 year. You can be arranging some things. You can go for 1 year programs, internship programs. Currently, which province is it? Prince Edward Island. They do internship programs, and when you go for the internship programs, it gives, thank you, the beautiful chicks, so it gives you an edge. All these conferences you try to apply, because the truth is 70% of people that want to go to Canada, it's not really for visit. They are looking for a way to stay back. If I'm wrong, just let me know in the comment section. Most of them want to use it as an avenue for staying back. How is housing for students in Canada affordable? Housing now depends on the province. There are some provinces that housing is like this, e.g. Manitoba, Saskatchewan. Those two places, housing is somehow. But if you want to stay in the school accommodation, yes, you may not really have problem. But housing again depends on the province, and again, yeah, depends on the province. Sometimes it could just be unnecessarily expensive. If it's not expensive, you may not have the facilities you want in that house. What's the sense of being in a house? Maybe the Manitoba, yes, housing is difficult in Manitoba, but Manitoba has good schools. Manitoba has health related courses, engineering courses. Manitoba has nice schools like University of Manitoba. They are sweet, but housing there is expensive. Housing in Saskatchewan is not easy to get. It's not easy at all. The same applies to the UK. You know, a lot of persons have moved into the UK, and they don't. Part of the reason why they are stopping dependent, because the facilities are no longer enough to accommodate people that are coming in. So they are trying to reduce the intake of people. You understand? They are trying to reduce. So that's what we are actually talking about. When we first came, oh my God, people of say 2 3 years ago, once they look for house, they will get. But you see some people, they will 5 months, they are still looking for apartments. That's, and then they will start squatting, staying in Airbnb. It's expensive. So if you are trying to bring people into your country, you should also make provisions for facilities like extra buses. I said recently, we will enter bus, the bus will be filled to the brim. You see people holding, buses now. They holding. But recently, they've supplied more buses here in Aberdeen. So when you enter bus now, you can see free spaces. So those are the things you should consider too. Another thing you should consider is average degree and living costs. Some provinces, when I'm talking about school, is province that encompasses the school. Some provinces are expensive to live in, while some are very affordable. When you're talking about Alberta, Ontario, they're expensive, but then there are jobs. So if you have jobs, if you can easily get jobs, you can easily solve the issue of money. But if you are thinking of a very cool, affordable place to stay, number one, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Nova Scotia. Yeah, so when you talk about Alberta, especially all those places with good weather, I know, yes, Canada can be very cold, but don't near Quebec, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, those ones, they have harsh weather conditions. That's also another thing you should consider too when you want to study in Canada. If you are the type that don't like bad weather, look for good. No, there's no bad province actually. Look for like all those Ontario, those ones, they have good weather. Look for Alberta. Look for which other province is not that. If you know your kind of body, so those another thing, that's what you should know too. Like here in Aberdeen here is like Canada. Aberdeen is so cold. Here is very cold. If I check the weather now, it's so cold that it can snow at any time. It has been raining since morning, and we are in winter. Sorry, we are in summer. This time last year this time, Aberdeen was this place was colder than Canada, because I was monitoring it. I heard cold is too much in Canada. It all depends. Canada usually have extreme temperatures. As we speak right now, the temperature there is very high as we speak now. This was about the time I traveled there last year. The heat burnt our skin. It was so hot. Ontario is expensive. Okay, are you disposing it? Okay, is it Ontario? It's Alberta. It's Alberta. I think one of it. I used to miss them. But I know one has job. I don't mind the weather. I care about good life. Yeah, in Canada, generally you can have good life, irrespective of the province. You can have good life. Like the way they do things over there is different from here. Over there, they look more relaxed. In UK, everybody ja ja ja, almost like you know, run. Hey, I'm looking for a job. Well, they'll just be do check 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 up and down. But they're very relaxed, and most people there have cars because of the distance apart. You know, Canada is very big, so you can't easily walk. You know, here in UK, we used to walk very well. We have pathways, shortcuts that can link. Can you even in most cases you even first the person that entered bus. Yeah, we used to check very well. We have pathways, but in Canada you can't try it because the distance from one place to another. Eh? If you don't drive, you will hear it. So most people there in UK in Canada, car is a necessity. But here you can do without it, except you just want to have it. In fact, most persons that have cars here, they still prefer to walk because the system here allows you to walk. You know, you can walk. So again, another thing you should consider. um, okay, I've talked about the language test. If you don't want to do language test, you have to look for the schools that don't that don't they don't make it compulsory. So if you don't want to do language test, honestly, a lot of persons have failed that IELTS, and there's a trick to that IELTS. Most people don't know. It was once I did IELTS once and I passed, but it was not. There's a trick when they give you like four passages to read, like 4 pages. You can't read all, and you have limited time. But you see some persons reading. That one is another story for another day. You can't read all. So the trick is that if you want to do that IELTS, read each paragraph. If you are reading a story, a comprehension, don't read or just be picking on the paragraphs. That's where the answers lie. They know what they are doing. So there are some things you should just know about IELTS because most people dread IELTS a lot. So another thing you should know about coming to study in Canada is that Canada has two official languages, French and English. Yes, Julie, you are right. There is a way. You don't use your secondary school mindset to do IELTS. Even though you know the book, you may fail it. So you don't use your secondary school idea. There is a pattern, and that's why you need to be doing all those your online. They usually have this tutorial that they used to put in a CD. I don't know how they do it, where they will guide you on what to do. IELTS, even the center self can make you to be scared when you go, when you see. So that's why most people will be saying, I'm looking for a school that I want to go study, but I don't want IELTS. I don't want to. So Canada has that option. So you can actually look for, you will just, maybe they will just grade you based on your school SAT English, or maybe their own English. You will come and write it when you get to their school. But I know there are cases like that you don't need to do IELTS. So Canada has two official languages. If you cannot study in English, you can study in French. So this one now will benefit most French speakers, those francophone people. Maybe you are from France and you want to go study in Canada. The thing is that you even have better chances. If you go and check for schools in Quebec, you know Quebec is a French community, and they are always willing to accept people because most people don't like to stay there because of the language barrier. So you should also consider that if you want to go study in Canada, the tuition cost can be more reasonable. I've said that before. Most of the time IELTS are compulsory. Yes, it's compulsory. They are always compulsory. But then there are few number of schools that can still accept you without IELTS. Hi Faith. Hi Faith, thanks for joining. It's good to see you here. Oh wow, didn't know French is also an French is official. As soon as you reach Canada, anything you see in English, they will put dash slash, they will put the friend. If they write welcome, the next thing you will see is bienvenue. Everything you see is French English equally. They speak French too. They speak French over there. When you go to their site, where they will write the beginning part in English. When you go down, you will be seeing French. So they speak French. It's their official language. So I've talked about scholarships being available. If you don't have so much money for your tuition, you can actually look for scholarship programs. Say Oyenike, yes, it will over Duolingo offers. Yes, Duolingo is not what is raining. I think Duolingo is not as difficult as IELTS. But then it depends on what the school wants. If the school wants Duolingo, good and fine. If they don't want Duolingo, if they tell you it's IELTS, you don't go do Duolingo. So that's it for that. The institution provide lots of support. That's another thing with them studying. If you want to go study, maybe you have issues, probably um, issues related to your visa, maybe to your insurance, like that. You can just go meet the school for support, and they can help you out with maybe mentorship programs, mental health services, academic accommodations, language workshops, housing support, employment support. So just know that when you are there, you can never be stranded except you don't want to talk. Please like the life. Yes, it is based on the school requirement. Exactly. If they don't want you to do Duolingo, if it's IELTS they want, Canada, you can't force another option on them. They are very strict in that area. I've been joking with my Duolingo lessons. Duolingo helps a lot, sha. Yes, so now most universities in UK is Duolingo they do, and it's very easy to do. It's easy to pass, and it's not as expensive as IELTS. How much is IELTS again? I learned it's now maybe 70 something thousand. I heard it's not expensive, but Duolingo is maybe 10,000 or 20,000. So I think IELTS is cheaper. Sorry, IELTS is more expensive than Duolingo. Another thing you should know about studying in Canada is that um, majority of the institutions in Canada offer on-campus housing. So if you want to study in Canada and you don't have a place to stay, just know that 74K, yay! 74K. I heard it. Somebody said it. That's way too much. 74. And it's not like the result will be valid forever. It's just 2 years. So after 2 years, it's expired. Wow, that's a whole lot. That is, and upon all, people fail it very easily. It is well. God will help us. That's much, yeah. So if you don't have a place to stay, the school can provide on-campus housing. So with all these benefits, it's still better to consider schooling in Canada, because you cannot just go there and they will leave you stranded, except you are just the type that want to be stranded. You have to just like ask with the school, oh, this is what I'm going through. If it's mental health problem, if it's housing, they can be of help to you. The another thing is you can work while you study. I've said that before. Not just working alone, but you have your 40 hours to yourself. Faith, yes, it's true. It's 74. I heard it. The time I did it, it was 45. That was how many years ago? I did it 2016. I did I 2016. So it was 40 something thousand that time. Again, if you want to travel as a student, it can be expensive, but there are some cheaper options. So what you do is that what you will do, you have to maybe be using buses in some cases to do some transition. Yeah, instead of flying, you have to create an alternative. You are a student, and as a student, you need to conserve your money. So that's also another thing you should know as students or that want to come and study in Canada. Then Canada offers post-study visa. It's true, but there are schools that do not require the exams, like a good school. Yes, now that's what we've been saying since you joined late. That's why there are many schools that don't require. Yes, they don't require IELTS. It sounds 90K for. Let me see. It's around 90K for express entry. Has it reached that amount? 90K. You see why people are boycotting express entry? They don't want to do they don't want to go through express entry. Thank God there are more options now that you may not have to go through express entry. 90K is way too much. Oh. Yes, there are some scholarship programs. That's even what I'm talking about now. So Canada offers post-study visas. So if you want to settle in Canada after you graduate, you are not alone. The 3 in 10 international students who came to Canada after year 2000 have become permanent residents. So this is what I've been trying to say. Most persons go to study in Canada. Their plan is not to come back. About 9 out of say 12, their plan is not to come. Even if they want to come back to their own country, they just want to come and visit and go back. Their plan is to remain. So because of this, Canada offers post-study visa. If you want something that will make you stay back, you can do your post-study. It will give you an extra time staying back. Even UK does that too. If you finish, for example, you came to do masters for maybe 12 months or 18 months. Once it's that 18 months, immigration will start sending you mail. You have finished your school. Oh. No, if you exceed your time and your passport expires, you become an illegal occupant. You have exceeded your time, or your time is almost up. They will start giving you options of how you can stay, in which post study is part of it. So if you want to extend your stay, you start applying for post study. So the same thing applies to Canada. So another thing is that Canadians value a global perspective. You understand? So nearly every university in the country offers their students the opportunity to study or work abroad. Better yet, 80% of employers that hire people with international and intercultural experience say it makes their business better. I've said this before. When you study in Canada, when employer needs people, they will first pick those students that graduated before considering somebody from outside of Canada. So, and what they are saying here is that even the employers have said it, that employing students or international students has made their business better, because they are now used to the system. They know how to relate. So in a way, to make their business better than bringing in a new person, novice, that has not even stepped into the country before. So even if I'm to be the employer, I will do the same thing. Let me just take who I know or who has been here, than bringing someone that I have to start training and training and training. So that's also another benefit, uh, or things you need to know about studying in Canada. So I still want to hear your own views, your own perspective about studying in Canada. I want to know if you have heard anything, because I know most persons will still watch this video after now, and maybe they've been weighing their options. Should I go study? Should I not go study? So what are your own perspectives? Like me now, in summary, I can say from being a student, you can become a permanent resident. That one is sure. And if you're a permanent resident, you can become a citizen. That one is also sure. So there are many benefits. There are a lot of benefits. So another thing is that another thing you should consider is the cost of living in a particular province you want to go and study. If the cost of living is high, it will be hard on you as a student. If the cost of living is high, so it's like you are struggling. Is there an age limit to study? And oh no, there's no age limit. Canada is one country that about 53 points, how many percentage, even the illiterates, let me put it that way, the illiterates still have high school education. The people you call illiterates, they can read and write, up to 53%. So meaning there is no that is your fundamental human right to be educated, to learn. So even if you are old and you have interests to study, you go study. So there's no age limit at all. There's no age limit. Although I think in terms of them giving you visa, age could be a factor. Age could be a factor if they want to give you a visa. For example, there is a child of, or there's somebody of 21 years, maybe that just finished BSc, and there's somebody that is 50 something years that finished BSc many years ago, and two of them want to go for masters. The truth is they will consider this one that is 21 years old. Is my thinking. Oh, why? Because he's younger, he's still very energetic. You know, Canada, they want young blood. They don't want people that will come and be a burden to them. They need young blood. And part of the reason why, when you are applying through express entry, the younger you are, the more advantaged you will be. You understand? The younger you are, the more your points. The older you are, the more you lose points. So that age factor also affects applicants in the express entry pool. So I think it also works, it also affects people that want to study. The younger you are, there is high tendency for you to get your study visa. That is why parents that send their children to school abroad after university, that is once they just finish university, bam, they hardly deny those people. I don't know if you guys have noticed. Why? Because they have sponsor. Those, they know the children don't have the money, but the parent is rich, or whoever is sponsoring them is rich to take care of them, so they easily give those ones visa. And they know that when those ones finish schooling, they will be of great use in the economy, compared to someone that is 50 something years. They'll just feel like, this one's strength is very small. What's how long can this one work in society? Or what I don't know how to explain it. Your strength is not as much as that of that young blood. So yes, age age is a factor when they are considering giving anybody study visa. Another thing is that when you go study in Canada, you get a benefit from a world class education. Do you know that feeling when you tell somebody I studied in Canada? There's this leverage, there's this pride in it. When you tell some people I studied in one country, they say, oh really, you studied there? But no matter the kind of school it is in Canada, when you tell somebody you studied in Canada, there's this there's this pride that goes with it. You understand? So it's also another benefit. Then I've said it, you get work experience in Canada after you graduate. Cassie said, why are you laughing? I'm just being realistic. Oh. I could be wrong, I could be wrong, but I'm just trying to say my own share. I could be wrong. You all are laughing. Why are you people laughing? Did I say anything funny? Funny enough, I'm not studying in the Canada. That's just a painful thing. I wish I studied there now. Probably I would have been saying more than this. Yes, now. And me, I'm just being realistic. I study about Canada a lot too. That sometimes I will just be checking the site, Canada, because the story about that place interests me so much. Don't mind me, oh. Don't mind me. So we want to talk about the pros and cons of studying there. We have been talking about the good side, good side. Definitely there will also be the bad side. Or what do you think? So we've talked about the affordable education, they have tuition fees, they have employment opportunities. I've said that. I don't think I've mentioned research opportunities. When you study there, um, you have an opportunity to do research. I'll be coming live from Canada soon. How soon, please? How soon, Savik? So that you can come and carry everybody along. Come and carry everybody along. The Canadian government offers many research and development opportunities to students in fields like agriculture, agriculture, environmental science, medicine, telecommunication, computer technology, etc. So they also give scholarships. So now, do you believe that there are disadvantages of studying in Canada? So let's go. If you are living, or if you were living in a region that is very hot, you know, we have some countries that are very hot, maybe UAE, Saudi, even Nigeria. When you first land there, you will hear it. Oh, my skin was never like this. The weather here, this is not even Canada. I'm trying to say, it broke my hair. It broke my hair. It dried my face. So I started doing skincare. That's why I hardly use makeup. I just rub my normal cream. So the cold weather started affecting us. My spirit is in Canada. I know, Maureen, I know. My husband, he can see my hand. My color is even uniform. My husband developed dark knuckles here. The weather, pa. So it was later we got to know that we are not supposed to be using water that is very hot. But how will someone know it's water that is very hot when the place is very cold? So we started, make your hair make your hair snap while combing. Yes, I've started. It has started growing. It has started growing. I had to start using what they call it. Is it clove oil? See my hair is very long. Can you guys see it? The hair has come back. This is my natural hair. I have a very long hair, so it started coming back. You understand? So it started coming back. It was when I discovered that I needed to be moisturizing it all the time. So so also consider that when you are trying to relocate to a cold country, get a lot of moisturizers. Get a lot of, yeah, actually I have very long hair, very long. If I bring it out now, it's, you see it falling. So it has come back though. I'm trying to tell you what I experienced when I just came. The hair was breaking, but immediately I got the gist. I said, no, this hair, I won't let it go. So I started treating it. I was using clove oil. There are enough moisturizers. And I just checked it. I just put it. I said, wow, this hair has come back. So on my own, I just wove it one. So I had, once I remove this thing, now you see everything pouring down. So consider cold weather, take anything, but lip, my lip, I make sure I use lip gloss all the time because it breaks. So you have to consider that too. Yes, we have hard water here. That was even what caused the issue. The water is so hard that it's good for drinking. No, how many of you know that hard water is good for drinking because of the our time is almost up, because of the is it magnesium and the rest of it. It's good for drinking, but it's not too good for the skin. So let me quickly rush down. If you are coming to a place that is cold, you need to get prepared. Get your head warmer. Always cover your hair. Like I cover my hair all the time because of the weather. And sometimes the another disadvantage of this studying is that it is not easy to get the visa. I've said that before. So in which age is a factor. And again, when you are not truthful, they can also deny you your visa. Sometimes Canada can be so meticulous that they will go and do some findings that you don't know. They can go as far as going to your Facebook page to know more about you. That means when you boil it, it will form white particles around your pot. Yes, that's hot water. That's hard water. But the truth is, it's very good for drinking. That's what we drink here. We don't drink bottled water. So far, I've not complained about. Yes, it has nutrients, but it is not good on the skin. It is not good for our hair. But the hair has come back. It has come back. It's now very long. It's not very long. So guys, that will be all for today, and I hope you enjoy this topic. As time goes on with this life, we'll be talking more about it. And if you have questions to ask about anything related to Canada, to the best of my knowledge, just bring them in, bring them on. According to my son, we say bring it on, bring it on. So just bring it on. We will talk about it together. That means my house water is hard. It could be hard and you won't know, just that some people don't know when the water is hard. Me, I know hard water. I know very well. And I know soft water. But in this part of UK where I am in, we have hard water, which is hard on our skin. But with skincare, my body has come back. My body has come back to normal. So guys, thank you, the beautiful chick. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. So part of Ghana has hard water when you boil them. Yeah. Sometimes it fluctuates. This hard water of the thing fluctuates. So it all depends. But the truth is hard water is good for drinking. It's good. So thanks for joining my life. I will see you all again next week, and then we shall experience another beautiful topic. So can I see your bye emoji? Thanks, Julie. Thanks for supporting. I love you all. You guys are the bomb. You are the best. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.